On this part, you learn how to validate if the value that is being passed from this form is a valid URL address. Now here to add data validation, what we need to do is that here on the post URL VM, we need to add some attributes to the URL property. The first attribute that we're going to use is going to be the required attribute. And you can see that the required does belong to the system.componentModel.data annotations. So I'm just going to use it. I'm just going to double click basically, and you can see here at the top we have the using of the system component model data annotations. Now, if the user does not provide a data, you can optionally display an error. Let's say the error message is going to be that the URL is required. So this is just a basic requirement, but you can also add more complex scenarios by using the regular expressions. And for that, in here, you can add another attribute, regular expression. This does take two parameters. The first parameter is going to be the pattern, and the second parameter is going to be the error message. And in here, you can just type that the value is not a valid URL. Now I have already created a regex. I'm just going to copy and paste it in here, and I'm going to explain all the parts. So in here, the first symbol asserts the start of the string, indicating that the pattern should begin matching from the very beginning of the input string. This part matches the string HTTP literally. Then the parenthesis with an S in the middle and also the question mark indicates that after the HTTP, you can optionally have an S. So what this means is that we do expect the URL to begin with either HTTP or HTTPS. The other part in here, the column and then the backslashes, this part matches the column and the double slashes that are part of the URL's protocol separator. This opens a capturing group, which is used to group and capture the subdomain part of the URL. And then inside the capturing group, this matches one or more word characters like letters, digits or underscores or hyphens. This part matches a subdomain. After the subdomain, this part matches a dot. The plus sign in here allows for multiple subdomains separated by dots. This other part in here matches the main domain name consisting of one or more word characters or hyphens. This opens another capturing group, which is used to group and capture the path part of the URL. This matches the / commonly used to separate the path from the domain. Inside the capturing group for the path, this matches a wide range of characters that can be part of the path, including word characters, hyphens, spaces, dots, / question marks, percentage signs, ampersands, and equals signs. The closing parenthesis followed by a question mark makes the entire capturing group for the path optional. This symbol here at the end of the string indicates that the pattern should end matching at the very end of the input string. So in summary, this regular expression is designed to match URLs that start with either HTTP or HTTPS, followed by optional subdomains and the main domain name. It can also match an optional path that can include a wide range of characters. So now that we have the data validation attributes in here, let us just go to the home controller. And now in here, whenever some data is being passed to the action, we want to first validate the model. And what the model validation means is actually to validate all the properties within this view model. For that, I can just type in here if the model state and then use is valid property. So if the model state is not valid, then I just want to return to the index view. So view, index, but I want to pass as a parameter the post URL VM, which is now going to also have the errors or the validation errors for the model properties. So let's say in this view model, you have 10 properties and each property does have separate data validation attributes. This model state is valid is going to check for every single property if it has the right or the valid data. And if it doesn't, or at least one doesn't have it, then in here, you're going to pass that post URL VM. I'm just going to put another breakpoint in here. I'm going to save the changes. So basically we updated the properties. We set up in here the conditional check. Now in the index.c#html, we need to create some placeholders where we're going to display the errors. Now in the index.c#html, we need to define a placeholder that we're going to use to show the errors. So in here we have the input. Just after the input, we have the span. And if you want, you can remove the span. And here I'm going to create another one, span. And then I'm going to say that I'm going to use this span for ASP and a validation for the URL attribute. A class is going to be text danger. That means a red text. And then I'm going to close the span tag. Now let us just bring this span here to the left. Let us save the changes. And let us run this project. Now here I'm just going to type my first name, which of course is not a valid URL. And I click the shorten it button. If I check now the is valid, you can see that it's false. And then if I just go to the model state and then just expand the model state, you can see that I have just one item, which is the URL. The validation state is invalid. If I expand this further and then just go to the errors in here and then open this one, you're going to see that the value is not a valid URL, which is the custom value that we did provide in here as the error message. Now let me just continue. Now in here on the form, you can see that we have this error message in here, which says that the value is not a valid URL. Let me just type in here HTTPS and then .NET how.net and then shorten it. Now the model state is valid. So we're going to bypass this if condition and then just return. And you can see that the error is gone.